Iraq, they paid all them boys, you just go home, you get $5 million. So the Iraqi soldier have nothing to do. Here come Taliban. We don't care, but we don't have nobody here to tell us what to do. Remember, they just drove and captured most of Iraq and was threatening Baghdad. Where did they get all them new trucks to travel that fast? Yemen been having difficulty for decades. There's a sister from Yemen, she won the Nobel Peace Prize about 10 years ago, something like that. So it don't have nothing to do with Houthis and nobody else. It has to do with the Yemeni people despondent about their situation. They want good leadership. Okay. So the United States is following the pattern of Midian. And it says in the end that they were overcome and destroyed so bad that you look up and as though they never even existed. So now, all this pattern fits. Which way is the United States going? It's going to make a great recovery, a great comeback. It's going to see the truth and live according to the truth and fix things. That's all we've been advising them, right? When you think about the people, we've been advising them to do the same thing Shuaib was telling them, man, just make everything fair. You know, we can fix the race problem. We can fix everything at once. It's just that we got to change. No riba, we have to change to have a 15, 20-year period of global fixing the world. It just makes sense. And for that period, the motivation cannot be money, because if that's the issue, the people with money won't do a project unless they get money out of it. It's a throat-cutting apparatus that you so stingiest.
You got to take the economy out of it. The economy ain't got nothing to do with it.
Right. There'll be an economy. When I say economy, that means the collection and distribution of goods and services. But how are we going to do that without money in it? We can figure that out. We got the best psychologists. They can sell ice to Eskimos on TV. Right? They study people. Why do they breathe more? Why do they sit still? Why do they got studies on everything? We can motivate ourselves without our stomach and our butt being the motivator. Right? We can do that. Okay. But the Midian people say, we know that, man. We can't. Ain't nobody, hey, man. We would be financially ruined. We would be broke. Saudi Arabia saying that. The Iranians. This is the Arabian Gulf. Just because y'all call it the Persian Gulf for a zillion years, it has never been called the Arabian Gulf. It's the Persian Gulf. We don't like them. We don't like them because they had a revolution, and the Shias had a little bit to do with it, but we don't care. We wasn't saying nothing much about it before, right? Before the revolution.
You hear nothing about it.
It was Qadianis. Y'all heard about it. You didn't hear nothing about no Shias. Shoot, the MSA, the first president and the third president was Shias. Okay, let me speed up here. Divide, conquer, and rule, hundreds of years campaign. Having sergeants and generals, they're like the school of the Americans. The CIA got people in place all over the world. If a good man come in office, they're going to kill him, take him out, and put him in jail. Just like they talk about the Congo now, that's what they did with Patrice Lumumba. That's what they do with everybody. A good man come in and try to help. Somebody come in and go mess up more, they say, you got our full backing. Strategic global weakness, sanctions, war, destabilization. That's the United States program. You could turn the cooling off just a minute. Global war against the people, global liberation. That's what we got today. What do the world need right now? Well, this is where we're going to go with it. And have fun doing it. It's called, do y'all remember in the 70s they come up with the Super Negro syndrome? It's going to take a Super Negro to do it, you know. That's what we're going to do. That's not what we're going to do. We've already been doing it. Super Negro, we call it what we want, but that's what it is, Super Negro.
Remember in the 70s, they used to have a Superman cartoon. I don't know if you remember. He used to have a Superman cartoon. And so whenever something came down that was extraordinary, the first thing he says, you know, he said in the Clark Kent mode, he said, "This is a job for Superman."
Yeah.
You know, so Superman had to jump to the occasion.
Well, this is a job for As-Sabiqun. This is a job for As-Sabiqun. They've been in the field, they've been deployed in the field of battle for decades and have not lost any confrontation with the United States government. They have deflected, they have decomposed, they have retreated, they have attacked, they've encircled, re-encircled, and counter-encircled the enemy on any, all, and every occasion. So us challenging the system is moving from grand jury. What do you do after you did the grand jury thing? You indict. Now everybody might have thought, lawyer, lawyer, lawyer. It's very possible. But we said that during the grand jury, right? And we did like a grand jury. We presented the same basic evidence of presentation over and over and over and over and over again. Right? If somebody missed this lecture, don't worry, just come back next week and you get the same thing in another way. Then after you've indicted, went over the stuff in the grand jury, you indict. We indict the government. I mean, right now, that's what we're going to do it. How we do it, we're going to stress in there that we have an attorney to take care of all the legal things. When it comes to a trial, we're going to handle all of that. Or we let him handle the legal. This is the case, such and such. We just have two open statements. Two counsels. You can say that. But I'm running a trial. Because he's not going to say. He's not even built to say. So I'm going to say, they can do whatever they want. But we're doing what we think is right. We don't care whether they like it or not. We're just going to do that. Tell you the truth, it ain't not the whole thing about it. Now, the thing only, like we told them years ago, only thing you can do is shoot us in the head. Well, now we're on the offensive. We're not defensive. That don't mean we're going to use defensive tactics. But we remind ourselves on a regular basis that it's now your turn, it's your job. It's like in any fight, you get in the ring. One thing a good trainer told me, he said, now, remember when you throw all your stuff, the other guy is waiting and he's going to come back throwing his. So you remember when you, so that teach you to only exhaust 70% of your energy. That other 30% may have been in that combination, the right punch, and you get them. But you're fighting a strategic fight. Not I hope I get the right punch in. No. You're fighting a strategic battle. You're going to wear them down. You know what I mean? You're going to wear them down. You're not just getting in there and start fighting. No. We're going to hit you, move, jab. Anything you hit us with, we done trained ourselves. It's psychological. It's psychological. They can do anything they want. When it's a psychological thing, it means it's how you accept it. You name what that is, what they just did. The other people say, some people feel that just when we get hit by the government doing certain things, it's a loss. It's hard to tell them, boss man ain't winning. He ain't winning at all. He can't win. So therefore, what we're going to do is the Super Negro syndrome. One of the things we're going to bring back is the local Negro hero. Like this right here is going to change Oakland from the other side of town back to East Oakland. So it'll be Oakland, D.C. to begin with. But this is a public ass kicking. Right? They've been public with what they've been doing. We're public. We're showing, look, boss man, all the stuff you did. And what is it? And you laughing at boss man. Remember, you got to hit him with what hurts. He's arrogant. Still arrogant. So you make fun of him. Everybody is scared to death. And they haven't even said but one boo. Boo! That's the extent of what they did to them. What they have been doing with us, it is not in an American history. It's not there. There's no movement, there's no group, nobody that's sustained on a continuous basis. If we got clear air in 1986, that's 32 years ago. 32 years ago. That was that period of encirclement and suppression. And we're still here. Longevity that kicked in. And is he, the system, the establishment, how is their local and global position? That was the beginning of the collapse of deindustrialization, right? The Rust Belt was kicking in 1986. But people were still living pretty good in 86. They're not like that now. 2016, they're not like that now. 30 years, they're broke. They didn't even have a deficit in those days. Now nobody even knows what the deficit is. This dummy gave a tax break to his friends, and it increased the budget, the deficit, over $1 trillion. Just like that. It's the transfer of all the wealth in America from the poor and the downtrodden to the rich. That's a historical reality. The super nigger, and very soon, when we drive up and down the streets, niggas gonna say, "That go Big Johnny." That nigga jumped in front of the white man and slapped him upside his head. That's what we're headed. We've already done it, they just don't know about it. That's why we got all this stuff on record. And dated, we'll repackage it, refix it. And we don't have to say nothing, we've already done it. All the niggas that they made popular, look at them. It's sad when you go to Oakland. That was Abdul-Malik, nice guy. puff face. Ain't that old, maybe 60. Finished. The white man suck all the juice out of them, and they don't even have they can't conceive of coming back. They don't even understand that a setback ain't nothing but a setup. Since they don't think like that, they don't believe like that. And they can see you recovering. They didn't see, people have seen these recovery stuff 4 or 5 times in the face. This one was the best chronicled. It was we talked about it in the grand jury stuff. We laid it out. Think about it all along the way. It was not a happenstance. It was not a mistake. It was not, oh, that might have just happened. No. It was now. For the Negro, here's what we're going to tell him. And the people, we got to put emphasis on ourselves. Why? Because in the old days, the party and other that put the emphasis on a bad nigga, because that's what people wanted. So all the newspapers, if you think they're standing behind the door, I blast this peck of wood, I blast this pig. There was a bad nigga standing there, taking the newspaper in his drawers, I'll blow this white man away, sucker. But we're not going to combine it with that and intellect. Remember, we've psychologically, educationally, strategically whipped the white man's ass. You gotta just take the paper. We didn't whoop the shit out of him. Excuse so much. We just slapped the poop out of the peckerwood. We've already done that. It's not something we've got to get big goal to do this. No, that's a done deal. All the paperwork, all the history, and all the lectures are there. The whole strategy, everything happened in front of their face. Nobody can say, I didn't see it, right? Why do we, with the Muslims and everybody, make sure that you understand this is a Quranic, hadith, and tafsir policy? Because very shortly we will be using super Negro. Remember the audience. The audience to the Muslims, very simple. So, Islamic revival, Islamic re-Africanization of the Islamic movement in North America. It's clearly that this is Islamically based in everything we intend to do and hope to do. There's another aspect. The Great Recovery, a setback ain't nothing but a setup for a comeback to teach the people that no matter how dark, gloomy, and impossible things look for you, that ain't nothing. The Super Negro done did it. The Super Negro wants to have language that he can understand, so we don't have to tell him all about the Quraysh. But we're saying this so the Muslims will know, yes, we didn't whoop the white man, it's going to get worse for him, not for us. Because the only thing that can slip up on us is death. And if you've been living a certain type of life, it don't have nothing to do with nothing. Because everybody's going to do it, but it's how you're going to do it. How you going to die? The question is how you going to live. Shoot, you think this ain't, if you think it's not fun to be able to be gavelled up and dumped in their jailhouses, and you just shut down. You say, I ain't going to do nothing but drink water, pray, and do push-ups. So the first day you're in jail, they didn't heard, they whispered, like in jail more than anything? Eating. That's the only pleasure. Even if it's slop, like the old sandwiches they throw in there, you still, oh, let me get the, what do you want out of this? I take the apple. They got some little powdered Kool-Aid or something. I don't know what it was. All the niggas was snorting and stuff. At first I just saw everybody snorting and said, they was getting a lot of blowing here. Then there's some powdered tang like or something. I guess when the nigga's desperate, he can have anything. But here's what I'm telling you. Pretty soon, everybody watching. And after you go 2-3 days and you don't eat nothing, and you make sure you publicly, hey man, you pick somebody you're gonna give your trade to, say man, I'm gonna get to home, or I'm gonna get this one on the food, and you don't eat nothing. Then they start getting the idea. And believe it or not, maybe they lying, but all the people in the neighborhood, man, I saw your program, we watched your program. And of course, they directed to come by. But one thing about it is the whole area knows what's going on. They just haven't been taught to understand what it is. Remember, they're frozen in this. If the white man attack you, if he do something to you, you're finished. That's what we wanted him to do. So what has he been openly doing? Attacking us. For how long? For years and years. What effect has it had on us? You can see it can't be little. Whatever is happening, the other people are aging faster than I am, and that fight back attitude, you can do it. Once that goes, the white man call it hungry. You lose your hunger, you can be the champion of the world. You ain't hungry no more. You don't want to do no challenge no more. The reason we live the way we live, make sure we stay hungry. Certain things we don't want. Because we don't want to get so comfortable that we don't want to fight no more. That's happened to my life. Poor guy, I said, you want to use all your... I'm telling you, so we fix the story up, the hero and everything, all this is, the story is how we fix it up. No,